Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the award winning recovery podcast, Get in the Herd. I am your host today, Nathan Mitchell, and today we have in here a new person to recovery. And I want to say a little something about this because, today is International Recovery Day, September 30th. You're going to see the skies light up purple in a lot of places. You're going to see what last year we had Niagara Falls go purple.
Okay.
Alex Bond, if y'all remember Alex, because he was host on this show for a long time too, right? He was able to get, among other things, Niagara Falls turned purple for Recovery Day. And I thought that was really freaking cool.
Okay.
This year, we're going to see it all over the place. We're going to celebrate that. And today, I thought it would be great to celebrate International Recovery Day by bringing in a new person to recovery. So today we have with us
Chad Mitkiff.
Chad. All right. Chad, who are you? Where are you? Where are you coming from? And why the heck are you here?
No, good question. My name's Chad. Born and raised Richmond, Virginia. Came into McShin about 3 weeks ago. I think today is my 20th day sober. And Nathan, you are actually my recovery coach.
Wait, I'm your recovery coach?
You are my recovery coach.
Oh.
my assigned recovery coach.
Oh, hell.
Yeah, I know.
Shit.
I didn't get too lucky.
Oof. 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 Oh, my little heart.
I'm just kidding.
My little heart.
I'm just kidding. Nathan's
Oof.
great.
Look, man, we all about honesty here.
Yeah.
When you in the herd. So you poor thing. Well, that's a good question. So we'll start with that then. So as far as recovery coaching goes, what have you seen? Yes, I'm your assigned recovery coach, but I know that you've benefited from recovery coaches and building connections elsewhere. What have you seen as the role of the recovery coach here?
Recovery coaching is sort of peer-to-peer. I mean, obviously everyone here is in addiction or has been in an active addiction at one point in their lives. I'd say recovery coaching is sort of helping you guide me. I guess you help me guide me to my first off pathway as how I want to get clean. Sort of go over your feelings, how you're feeling at McShin. What's sort of going on with you? What's the problem? Like, why are you here? What's going to be the solution? And then how do you apply it?
Do you hear that?
I did hear that. Actually, that was a very.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. Like that was kind of perfect.
Yeah, like very perfect. And you just went through the recovery coach class, the training.
I did.
Last week.
I did 2 days of recovery coach training last week. It was about 16 hours.
Yeah. So what? A good question for anybody out there. So look, you found McShin through what, Google, something like that?
Actually, my best friend knows Zach downstairs. I'm not sure what Zach's role is, but
Okay.
I've had two friends.
AmeriCorps Zach.
Right.
Yeah.
AmeriCorps Zach. I've had two friends come here in the past. I heard good things. And then I came in on September 11th. So that awful day, but that is my clean date is 9/11.
Yeah.
And that, I just heard through word of mouth just to come here.
Of course, that was a very somber day, but was also Recovery Fest here at McShin. So
it was when I came here, there was probably about a couple hundred, maybe even 300 people in the parking lot, and I was just walking around like a zombie. It felt terrible.
Everybody was here to celebrate you.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I mean, in reality, they were, because you've learned in the rooms of the 12-step meetings that who's the most important person in the room?
The newcomer.
The newcomer is the most, and I believe that too. It's not like just a thing to joke about here. The reality is like the new person walking in the door is like, all right, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Let's talk. Let's figure out, what is it that you need next? How can we help you? What's the difference between a need and a want?
Exactly. Exactly. And for me, I mean, this is my third time sort of in recovery. I did one outpatient, so I don't know if you technically would count that. But I think you just have to stay long enough to actually have to grasp all of it, because the first couple of weeks I just wasn't really digesting everything good enough to get a read on everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as in the meetings and stuff. And on week 3 I'm actually becoming more active in the meetings and speaking up a little bit more and sort of getting, I guess, my self-esteem back in it.
Yeah. You've been sharing in the meetings.
I have been.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, there's a thing about anonymity and all that too. But our recovery doesn't have to be anonymous. We can talk about 12-step meetings and sort of an abstract way of talking about it. There's a lot of people who have as many people as go to an AA or an NA meeting have an opinion about what anonymity means. So
every single one does.
Every single one, and that's really cool, because I know from experience that I don't make the best decisions, and I make better decisions now than I did, 4 years ago.
Of course.
But I still know that my recovery teaches me that there are things I don't know, and because I don't know things, I should ask. I should ask questions. I should reach out and I should say, "Hey, I need help with things."
Humility is key.
Humility. Oh,
That's the word. That's the big one.
that is a bit. Well, define humility for us, will you?
Oh my goodness, I'm
Oh my
probably the
goodness.
worst person to do it.
Oh, don't be humble.
I'm trying. Humility is, I mean, essentially you're not the driver. The buck doesn't stop with you. It's not your way or the highway. You have to be open-minded to other people's suggestions. And obviously you wouldn't land yourself in a place like this, like we all have, if your way was the right way to go about it.
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I'm at now. It sort of took me a little while to put my pride to the side and everything like that. Because I mean, I've been doing everything my way since forever, really. So now it's sort of taking suggestions, listening to people's stories, and staying in position. Stay in position so you do get those blessings.
Jesse Wysocki, the chief operating officer here, he has a very simple definition for humility that I really, really love.
Mhm.
And if you know me and Justin knows me and a lot of you out there know me, I'm not exactly a quick, speaking person. I tend to,
You do a circle and then
Yeah.
you get to the point.
and sometimes, well, and there's a few there is a logic to the way I do that when I'm coaching individuals. However, that is not always the way I am in normal life. That being said, Jesse has a very succinct answer for humility, and I love this. Just to remain teachable.
That's what he said in the group the other day.
Yeah. He shares that in his groups, and I love that because it sort of it I like simplicity. I'm not a
Mhm.
person who is naturally drawn to the simple answer.
Right.
I want to overcomplicate everything. I want to get, and that actually does, my overthinking does benefit me. There are ways that I can use that skill
We
set.
discussed this the other day.
Yeah.
We did. But yeah, being like, I always tend to overthink recovery or getting sober, and you get in your head about it and you overthink it and you think it's this whole process. But really, if you simplify it, it's really almost simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Don't use no matter what.
Don't lose no matter what.
Yeah.
Find a purpose.
Yeah.
And that purpose should usually be in your higher power or helping others.
Well, that can be the same.
Right.
I mean, in Nathan's humble opinion.
Right.
That's a whole, it's a 12-step thing. But yeah, no, but see, so that finding a purpose, finding something that sort of takes away, replaces the drugs, I guess, essentially.
Mhm. Fills
That
the void.
fills the void. We talked about the little rat park,
Mhm.
and I love that little video, and I think it certainly makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's science right there. So you've been around the block.
Mhm.
You're going to be 30 soon.
I'll be 29
29
in
soon.
November. Yep.
Okay.
29 in November.
And the first time you were in recovery, what, 19?
First time, I think it was a court order deal. I think I was 16.
16.
And then
Oof.
and then I did a inpatient 90-day program in Utah when I was 19.
Okay, so that was the beautiful fancy.
Yeah, that place was bitching. I was in there with Lindsay Lindsay Lohan was in there. Pat Benatar's daughter, Conrad Hilton, Paris Hilton's little brother.
Hold on. While you were in there?
While I was in there,
Tight.
very tight.
tight.
Yeah, and Pat
Tight.
Benatar's daughter Hannah was in there. She was really, really cool. But yeah, you got to actually meet a lot of celebrities over there. I think they do recruiting. The place was called Cirque Lodge, and I would recommend it if anybody has some needs. Well, sorry about that.
Hold on, hold on.
Go to McShin. Go to McShin.
No. So you could. Hey, look, we're all pathways.
Right.
If Pat Benatar's daughter is what you need to get clean, by all means, go find Pat Benatar's daughter.
Right.
Shout out to
Well,
Pat Benatar.
I think they were just doing a lot of recruiting because there was a ton of people from Richmond in there. So I think that's just one of the places where they pulled them, sort of like people in Maine from here.
Well, let's just talk about this because you're back.
I'm back.
You're back, baby. So
Feeling good.
What was it? What worked? What didn't work?
What didn't work at 19, I was too young. I
Okay.
was too young. There was a good bit of fraternization going on.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It
really?
was co-ed. I didn't take it seriously enough. Unfortunately, I did end up using pretty much the next day when I got out. I moved to Denver, Colorado. My mom didn't want me to come back to Richmond, so I moved to Denver, Colorado, straight from Utah. she basically put a big old X on Richmond and said, "You can't come back here. There's too many, too many people. There's too many triggers." So I just moved halfway across the country at 19, pretty much by myself early on in recovery. Probably wasn't a good idea. But yeah, I'd probably say from like 20 to maybe 24, I was a hot mess. Cleaned myself up pretty well when I was 24, and I was probably a functioning addict for the last like 3 years.
Ooh,
Talk about functioning addict.
yeah.
Talk
Didn't
about
lose a
that.
job.
Mm.
Never lost a job. I mean, money, I would roll through money. Money would just fall out of my pockets. I mean, financially, I was incredibly unstable the majority of the time.
Welcome.
Yeah. But I didn't lose a job or anything like that. Lost a lot of brain cells, but I didn't lose a job. But I'd probably say I didn't have that like major consequence, like going to jail or anything like that a lot of people do.
I didn't have that major consequence either.
Right.
I lost everything.
Right.
Everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think one of the larger things I lost was my ex-girlfriend. So me and her split up in May. And then I ended up having a really bad surgery on my leg. I had to get 3 surgeries over the summer. Lost a girl, and she pretty much left me due to my substance abuse. And then everything sort of spiraled this summer, and that ended up landing me here in September. So I guess what didn't really work is I was too young. I sort of was skating by like the past 8 years, trying to see if I could do it successfully, which eventually I was before I lost everything, because I actually have a good amount of recovery capital out there right now. Like I have an apartment, still have the car, still have a lot of stuff. I just wanted to put a stop to it before I did lose everything. So I try to be mature in that sense.
Yeah. One thing that when you and I talk one-on-one, a word that seems to pop up a lot with you is compliant.
Mm.
And I would agree with you. I would agree that, you're a very compliant person. You're very follow the rules, do the thing,
Right.
to get by. And I think I've expressed this to you. I have a bit of that little bit of concern because I relate to that. And so
Right.
I'm putting my experience on you, which is fair or not fair. It's just how I relate.
Right. Exactly.
But it's also, we have some similar anger issues. So when I think of my compliance,
Mhm.
my compliance went for about 3 months, and then bam,
Yeah.
bam.
Yeah. It happened.
And there was a lot of little fingers
Mhm.
going everywhere.
Mhm.
A lot of people. So I can look back at that. I can see some things obviously that didn't work for me that I still work. I mean, obviously I work on my recovery every day.
Right.
Things that I could have done differently, yada yada yada. And I'm not, I try not to say, look, oh, this is what I did, you're going to do the same thing. That's not the case. I mean, clearly your recovery is going to be your recovery, and it could be different. It could be the same. It could be way better. However,
Mhm.
the one thing that I learned through that experience was that regardless of how I was acting or acting out,
Mhm.
when it came right down to it, when I came back and said, hey, I'm screwing up, I need
Right.
more help,
Right.
they continued to help me.
And you didn't relapse. You were just screwing up in your behaviors, or you relapsed?
Oh, I did not use.
Okay. So it was your behavioral. You were relapsing mentally, but you didn't actually pick up.
But I can tell you, even in recovery, I still spent money on drugs. So it was very close. It was very close. And when I got to that point where I knew it was going to happen,
Yeah.
it got to the point where for me, I was living with somebody who was in active addiction, and although he was doing different drugs, than I did, I said, well, I can handle this because, I'm not that kind of addict. I'm this kind of addict.
Right.
Right. Well, when he got a prescription filled that was close enough to the addict, the things that I like,
Mhm.
I couldn't stop thinking about that.
Right.
And it got in there, and it was invasive.
Obsession.
Obsession. Absolutely. And we had already grown into this,
Right.
thing. And so,
Flashing.
and then petty stuff,
Right.
and I always tell this story that, I was getting so petty that I would he locked the coffee maker into the spare bedroom,
So you couldn't use it.
so I couldn't use it. But me being me and really wanting
You
coffee,
picked the lock.
I didn't pick the lock.
You kicked the door down.
I kicked the door down, and then him being him, the Wi-Fi, which of course new in recovery, so all I had was Wi-Fi phone service at the time.
Of course.
The Wi-Fi, the router was in his bedroom upstairs.
So you had no data.
So I had no data. Yeah.
Hmm.
So the router was upstairs in his bedroom. Well, he got pissed off at me, left, locked the door to his bedroom, turned off the Wi-Fi, locked the door, and left.
What a dick.
Well, what did I do?
Kick the door
I
down.
kicked the door down, and I can tell you what I did was I flipped on the internet, the Wi-Fi, and I immediately called somebody who was a participant here. And within 20 minutes, I had some guys from this place, who I trusted were my friends from being,
Mm-hmm.
participants
Mm-hmm.
at my door. And that was
Did they get you out of that
yeah,
situation?
they absolutely did. And
Well, let me ask you this: who rehinged the doors?
he and his family did. It was his mom's house.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, it was a dick move on my part. I get it.
Right.
The funny thing about that though is that it was his mom's house. She lived somewhere else. I don't know where she lives, but in that situation, she still wanted me to live in that house
Wow.
because she knew what he was doing
Mm-hmm.
and she knew I was in recovery.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and I joke when I tell that though, I joke because I came back to McShinnon within 2 weeks. I had keys to the building here, so I didn't have to kick any more doors
Right.
down.
It worked out in your
Yeah,
favor.
It did.
You
Well,
made the right
yeah,
call.
of course, yeah. And 4 of those guys, I of those 4 guys, I still talk to. Well, I talked to one last night. I talk to one every other. Yeah, yeah, actually, I talked to 2 of them on a on a regular basis, and the other 2, I mean, they're around. I know one's still active in his recovery. At least I see them, and but that was a really cool realization for me to realize, I'm not from Richmond. So
Mhm.
for me, even staying in Richmond after I left here after 3 months was a big stretch for me.
Right. Because you didn't know
I
anybody.
didn't know anybody. I was on probation, so I was a
Mhm.
little nervous about the switch and everything. And that was
Mhm.
really the only thing that kept me from using in those 3 months, those
Was
4
was
months
probation.
because I was terrified to go back to jail. I didn't want to go back to jail.
Mm-mm.
And I knew that if I violated, it would be a second violation for me. And at the time, it would have been 6 to 9 months
Right.
in Warrenton, and that was not something I was willing to do.
Not worth it.
Not worth it, And so, what I love about this, what we're doing right now,
Mm.
and I know both of you, Justin and Chad, have not spent time in jail yet.
Yeah, the only time I really went was I was in the drunk tank in Colorado
Yeah.
after a concert
Oof.
for about 9 hours. And it was after like a Grateful Dead show or something like that. I can't remember. It was at I think First Bank Center. It's in Broomfield, I believe is what it was. But yeah, I was too drunk, and they sent me to the drunk tank, and everybody in the cell was like spun on acid. They were like old men's, like like touching the walls in the jail cell and everything like that. And everybody there was from the show. But yeah, they finally let me out at like 6 a.m. And yeah, I learned to not do that again.
Yeah. And a lot of the, as you guys were talking before the show, our biggest audience is individuals who are currently experiencing incarceration. And I love that about the show because I know what I felt when I was there.
Right.
But I also, I mean, regardless of being in jail or being out here, I mean, the prisons are all in our minds.
That's the fact that your
yeah.
mind is a prison.
So that message of hope there, that message of look, there's something else out there, right?
Mhm.
It's important to me to continue to have these messages, to continue bringing on, new person to recovery. You're obviously a well-spoken,
Try to be.
You've got a little charisma, charming,
Mhm.
little comedy there.
Yep.
What do you see for yourself leaving? Because I understand
Right.
it's gonna be difficult.
Right.
I don't think there's a way to convince you to stay beyond the 28
Right,
days.
right. So to let the viewers sort of know, have a German Shepherd at home. I did a
Yeah.
28-day intensive program here, sort of in the McShin bubble, if you will. But I do have an apartment about 5 minutes away in downtown Richmond by myself. And then I work from home quite a bit with work. So I texted my manager prior to coming here. She was like, yeah, if that's something you need to do, your job is available for you as soon as you get back, but we do really need you. So obviously McShin, I think, has 13 recovery houses. Is that what it's
12, about to have 13.
yeah, on their 13th. So recovery houses, I think it's usually like anywhere from 2 to 4 beds in a room. And just working from home and, living with maybe 7 to 10 guys, and obviously I have a dog. It just seems all pretty hard to pull off. I would say if I didn't have the job, I'd be way more inclined to do the sober living, at least till 60 or 90 days, just to up my chances. But yeah, and I do know I have to get back to work. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I know everybody here is trying to convince me to stay, but we'll see what happens. I haven't really made that full on decision yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to talk to you about this more and more, of course, and I've talked to you about it enough as it is. I mean, I have opinions, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. I mean, I'm
Right.
going to support whatever you decide and tell you that, just like for me, I left here going,
Mm-hmm.
F this, F
Mhm.
that, they still had the doors
Right,
open
and
for me.
and see, I'm not leaving with F this or F
No,
that
I
at
know
all.
that. Right.
I really do like this place a lot. I'm glad it was money well spent, to be honest with you. This place is great. I do have a problem with authority and rules at times, but
But
I
you're
mean,
so compliant.
but I have tried to be, yeah, exactly. I've tried to be compliant. 19-year-old me in rehab versus 28-year-old me, completely different. I mean, I try to play by the rules.
I'd like to see 40-year-old you in rehab.
Oh God, I don't even know what that looked like.
I'll tell you. I'll give you an example, or I'll give you a sort of a broad overview here because
Yeah.
I think at 19, yeah, screw authority.
Yeah.
About 30ish,
Uh-huh.
yeah, all right, maybe I need to be compliant, figure this out.
Mhm.
Around 41 and beyond,
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, all right, what are you kids gonna teach me?
Right.
Eh.
Yeah, probably. I'd
And
probably be like
yeah,
that.
I suspect you would be.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too much of me on you, but
But yeah, we'll see what happens when I get out of here. I mean, I did hear something in group the other day that I hadn't actually crossed my mind. So with me right now, and sort of what brought me here is I'll drink socially with like friends or whatever. If I go over that like sort of point, obviously the alcohol won't be enough, and then I'll resort to using. And then I'll sort of spiral out for like 2 or 3 days, sort of go on a binge or whatever. I think I did my last binge before I came here, and I was actually fine on like Monday, and then Tuesday to about Friday or Saturday, I was just dog tired. I was just really sick of abusing myself because I got too much to lose, if I'm being honest with you. But the behavior's been around for forever with me, at least since I was about 16. So John recommended like you do an antabuse shot. Because I've never, and this is, well, I probably have, but not in my adult life, or like probably since I was like 21 or 22. I've never really went out and got drugs without being drunk. Like I don't just wake up and like, but that's how you start that. But like I don't use drugs every day.
that's how you start that.
That's how I
Yeah.
yeah, excuse me. That's how I start that. I don't use drugs every day, but if I start doing it, it's usually you can write the next 3 or 4 days off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that
Which isn't okay. You know what I mean? That's not okay.
No, well, yeah.
It's just not. That's
not
not
if you're going
healthy.
after not if your goals are being screwed up.
Right,
So,
and
right.
they were, and that's sort of what landed me here.
So so you talked about the behaviors. What are you going to do to change the behaviors? Because if you go back, well, if you leave here, and abuse is great, right?
Right.
And that'll certainly stop the using, or at least the drinking,
drinking.
and prevent you from doing that, and that launching point into the days of crazy.
Correct.
But we know insanity. Yeah. We know that the behaviors surrounding all that are like the things that are not really so much to do with the actual drinking and drugging. It's the behaviors that get us to that point. Then
Correct.
yeah. What are we going to do to curb that?
Well, I mean, you and me were talking the other day. I mean, I've been checking myself a whole lot more with people and situations. It's a lot easier to have a filter sober than it is when you're not sober.
Amen to that.
And that's just a fact, guys. Like, I don't give a shit when I'm on one. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna talk some shit to you. But I've ran into a few situations since I've been here where I could have really, really been in complete a-hole. But I've just stopped, backed up, and said, it's not worth it. I know my behaviors can be messed up. I don't feel like. I mean, I know in recovery, the main thing is like the feelings and how we've been numbing ourselves, and now we're going to have this huge rush of all these feelings or whatever. I mean, I feel like I handle my feelings okay. It's really more so when I start something, I don't put it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But as far as handling my feelings like happiness, sadness, whatever, tiredness, I mean, I guess they say halt, don't be hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. But I guess my biggest behavior I have to work on is probably anger and being an egotistical person. I'd probably say are my 2 biggest downfalls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recovery teaches us. Recovery teaches us. Well, recovery for me at least teaches me that my defects can be harnessed and turned into assets.
Right.
And so, for me, fairly good manipulator back in my day.
Oh, still are. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, but the reality is
Yeah.
that becomes, for me at least, empathy.
Mm.
Then there's I can manipulate you because I can
Right.
kind of get into them, figure out what you're thinking and feeling, and I can use that to,
And you can also use that with like however you wonder, like, how the hell do these people afford this $200 a day drug habit and they don't have a job? That's called damn determination. Okay?
Yeah, that is resourcefulness.
That's determination.
Yeah, determination.
So I
exactly.
always say addicts are special people because they can do whatever they really want if they put their mind to it.
Resourceful.
Exactly.
Extremely resourceful.
Exactly.
The story of resourcefulness is the story of recovery, I think. And,
Right.
That resilience, absolutely. So, going in, now you're moving back,
Mhm.
staying by yourself, living
Yep.
by yourself. With your dog. What's your dog's name?
Her name is Charlie.
Her name is Charlie?
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, she's a babe.
She's a babe.
She's a total babe.
Total babe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, everybody. Charlie over here. Charlie and Chad.
Yep. Don't laugh. Hey, to be honest, she was already named Charlie. I got her when she was like 6 months. She right when I picked her up from the house I bought her from, she was looking at me like I was crazy. So I was like, I'm not changing her name, and it's definitely grown on me. So, but yeah, I guess you're like, you name your dog after you, but no, it was already named.
Well, see, okay,
She was already named.
other people here may not have made that connection because you're Chad to
Yes.
everybody that's listening. So
Yeah.
your first name is Charles.
First name Charles. Yes, sir.
Charles and Charlie.
Charles and Charlie.
Charles in charge is the first thing I thought.
I was gonna ask a question, but then you said Charles in charge, and I completely. Oh yeah.
He probably doesn't even know what.
How old? Oh. Never mind.
He probably
Okay.
doesn't
All right.
because he's 28'9".
I thought you were talking about me. I was just like, hey, buddy.
Oh no, I know you're ancient.
Yeah. Oh, jeez. There it is.
That's messed up.
That's
How
bad.
old? How ancient is your dog?
My dog is 7.
7?
Yeah, she's 7.
That's how old my dog is actually.
Yep, and she's still
Yeah.
getting around great.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll still fetch, and I mean she'll probably last for maybe like 10 throws with the chuck it, but then she's about done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like 90% sure that my dog is like a special needs dog.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she kind of acts like a dog sometimes, but she doesn't really know how to dog very well.
Okay.
If that makes like
Does she have more like
she's-
human traits? or,
no,
like,
she's got more like it's hard to describe. She
Okay.
doesn't really do a whole lot. She just kind of lays around. Her eyes kind of go different directions. Sometimes when she runs, like her hind legs will go a little faster than her front legs, and she kind of starts going this sideways trot thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Kind of cute though.
It's really cute actually, but no, I love her to death, man.
What kind of dog is she?
I have no idea.
Okay, just a
At
mutt.
all. Just a mutt, a white
Nice.
mutt.
What's her name?
Lemon Drop.
Why haven't we met
Um,
Lemon Drop?
That's because she doesn't really do much. She just kind of hangs around the house and lays there.
I feel like she could
um,
lay around this office.
Well, she might. She has a little bit of a problem with relieving herself. We have
So
to.
she might pee on the floor.
She might pee and poop on the floor.
Yeah, two pee
Uh,
pads all over the
yeah.
floor.
I was about to say we have
Lemon
a
drop
lot
can
of.
stay at the house.
Yeah, Lemon Drop likes to leave little lemon drops all over the place.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Mm.
No, but I've been trying to work with her and take her out like as often as I can. But the problem is, I mean, nobody's home during the day.
Right.
And we tried to crate train her, but when I got her, she was 6.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Wait, she was 6 when you got her.
yeah.
So you've had her
Wow.
for a
Yeah.
year.
I've had her for
essentially.
about
Oh,
roughly a
wow.
year.
Mm.
And I mean, she was the desk dog at the SPCA, and I went in.
Desk
Basi-
dog.
Yeah,
Desk
she hung
dog.
out at the front desk.
Oh,
Yeah, because she doesn't do anything. She just
Yeah.
laid there.
Well, why'd they get rid of
Um,
her if she was a desk dog?
yeah.
Well, I mean,
You know,
They said-
that brings people in.
They said
Yeah.
when they said
was
desk dog,
advertising.
when they said desk dog, they meant like that's how well behaved she is.
Gotcha.
She can hang out up at the front desk, not on a leash, and not go crazy when people come up and
Right,
stuff like that.
Right. That's actually kind of
Um,
like my dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
um,
just chills.
But when I went in, I was looking for a dog that was good with kids, good with cats, and already had a little bit of training. They lied to me about the training.
Clearly with the lemon drops. Or the
But yeah, right, exactly. But she's, they were like, yeah, she's, been adopted and brought back once, and that broke my freaking heart when they
took
told
her
me that
back.
somebody brought her. Like, how do you do that to a dog? Like, that's if you, I'm
I
sorry.
mean, here's my thing. I could do it. I could.
I just,
I could do it, but I'd have to do it within 24 hours, or else I'm getting stuck.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
But like within those 24 hours, if it's just batshit crazy, I gotta bow out
yeah, that's fair. That's
before you
fair.
get attached,
Yeah,
because that's gonna
Aw.
be the next like 8 years to 10 years of your life.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's, I get that. I don't know.
But with Lemon Drop, there was no excuse. Okay,
Right.
There's no excuse. So shame on them. If you guys are listening to that and you brought Lemon Drop back, shame on you.
The ASPCA is one of our biggest contributors to the show. So
Oh, good.
it's
Really
a sponsor of the show. Yeah.
nice.
So Lemon Drop, we're not going to see Lemon Drop here.
No,
Surely if
probably.
Lemon Droppings on the podcast studio.
I highly doubt we'll see Lemon Drop here.
Little diapers.
Hey, you know what we can do when we do a podcast? We can put Lemon Drop in Nathan's office.
Might not smell too good when you get back.
Well, it's okay. Well, I'll line the room with his clothes, so it'll be all set. Something comfortable, it'll smell good.
Yeah,
So he's I would say that you're fastidious in your self care.
I would say so. I'm a pretty clean guy.
I wonder if Jesse would actually go for that.
Fastidiousness?
No, not fastidious.
Now he's showing off.
Duh. The dog in here
Yeah.
on a semi-regular basis.
Yeah.
It's one of those asking. Look.
Hey, it could be a recovery dog.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's a real thing.
Yeah. Emotional support dog.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. No. It's one of those things. Sometimes it's better to ask forgiveness than it is to ask permission.
Yeah.
My mother
yeah.
taught me that a
It's
long
real-
time
It's
ago.
a real thing.
My mother was wrong to teach me that.
So, yeah, depending on the situation. Sometimes you just got to do it.
Yeah. Every time he drinks one of those things, I think it's a beer.
Yeah, it's a liquid death, I think is what they call
Yeah,
it.
liquid death. It looks like a beer. It's just all it is sparkling water.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I think it's just water.
It's just
It's just water.
is it just regular water with no
Just
spark-
water.
So it's just
There's
water.
literally nothing
so
in
why
it
have water in a can and not a bottle?
because cans are recyclable,
So are bottles.
not plastic ones.
Sure they are.
Well, people don't recycle. People tend not to recycle. I think it might have something to do with biodegradability. I don't know.
Okay, but do you put that can in the dumpster outside?
No.
Okay, so you
No,
bring it
absolutely
home.
not.
You bring it home and
Also,
recycle.
The reason I get this in particular is because proceeds from purchasing this go to an organization called Save Our Stages. And in the audio industry, that got hit really, really hard when COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of engineers, stagehands, producers ended up losing their jobs and not being able to work. And so this company, they started this thing called Save Our Stages. And yeah, every time
I
somebody
support
buys
that.
a can of this,
I support that.
When he's done drinking it,
Yeah.
he actually takes it to the corner and he just shakes the can and tries to get coins in the can. and by the way, I'm not in any way going to point out the fact that you're sitting here telling us that, oh, well, it's better for the environment because we recycle the cans, as you have a plastic bottle right there on the windowsill.
you know where I got that?
Well, hey, here's the thing.
Not from my office.
No, hang on. I've never seen water in a can until liquid death. So he didn't really have a choice.
There you go. See,
So-
I like this guy.
Yeah.
I like this guy.
Oh, he'll rationalize the heck out of anything.
I'll rationalize it. So if you guys
Yeah.
are listening, Liquid Death sold at where? Wawa, 7-Eleven.
Well, I'd rather pimp out Clean Cause, which I want to try to get on the damn
Well,
show.
I'm still pimping out Liquid
That's
Death.
fine. That's
so
fine.
I'm
Liquid.
just kidding.
Also, the can looks super brutal. So
Yeah, it's badass. It's
It is,
badass.
yeah, but it's badass, and then you open up and it's like, oh, it's water.
yeah, it's water.
I'm like, I want like 500 milligrams
but
of
it's-
caffeine.
it's-
You know,
it's
liquid,
brutal
liquid death
water.
tells me that I'm
Yeah,
gonna be up for
it does,
4 days.
It does, and it also see,
I want it laced with. Well,
Yeah.
never mind.
okay.
It's a recovered podcast.
Let's
right.
reel it in.
That's right. Oh, this guy over here.
I'm just kidding.
This guy.
I'm
over
just
here.
kidding.
Well, no, we wrangle in the herd, right? How do
Right.
we? Yeah,
How do we wrangle them in?
that's what we need. Border collies. We need border collies.
What's
Border
happening
collies.
with this show right now?
I want a dog.
What
That's
is-
what's happening. I want a dog. Jesse, if you're listening, he's not. though.
No,
Jesse's not.
But he'll watch it first thing when he gets home.
No, but
I'm just
honesty,
kidding.
honesty listens, and so does our board chair all the time.
Okay.
So
nice.
Debbie, if you're out there, we want a dog.
Right. A whole herd of them.
Yeah, a whole herd of
Whole herd of them.
No, but in all seriousness, though, so today is International Recovery Day. Did you know that?
I did not actually. I think I heard about it, but I forgot it.
It's
So,
also a very important day to me, anyway. Well, it's my favorite cousin's birthday. He turns 50 today, but it's also the feast of Saint Michael. His birthday. His name is Michael. Today is the feast of Saint Michael in the Catholic Church.
okay.
At first, I thought you said the feet of Saint Michael.
It is the feet of Saint Michael. Yes, the feet of Saint Michael Day.
Okay.
Like, that is a very
Yes.
strange thing to celebrate.
Well, the thighs of Saint Michael are somewhere in mid-October. Just keep working up the body till you get to Christmas, and then and it's the face of Saint Michael.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
No, but today is the feast of Saint Michael. So drop in the comments what you're celebrating today as the feast of Saint Michael. Nobody. I don't know what to celebrate. I don't even know what Saint Michael does. Look at what I was looking up.
Let's see what we
I'm
got.
looking up the Pat Benatar songs
Okay.
because you mentioned Pat Benatar's
Her
daughter,
Yep.
and I'm
Hannah.
thinking, and I kept thinking "Shot Through the Heart," and that's a Bon Jovi song.
Yeah. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that.
And I'm like, wait, no, what is the one I'm thinking of? And the one I'm thinking of is
Heartbreaker.
Heartbreaker. And then I'm
Heartbreaker.
like, oh yeah, Love is a
Dreammaker.
Battlefield.
Right.
And what's the other one? Hit me with your best shot,
Mhm.
or as we used to sing, hit me with your wet snot, fire away. We were gross kids. We were gross kids. You know, I was born in '76. If you're counting out there, that makes me 29.
Nice.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Sure.
So International Recovery Day. What does recovery mean to you, Justin?
Recovery to me means being able to get my life back. Essentially, that's been the coolest part of my personal journey, I guess you could say, is being able to live my life, and show up for the challenges, and not have to not have to use substances to be able to live.
Mhm.
I couldn't live without my substances. If I didn't have what I needed, it was a bad day.
Yeah.
The difference between a bad day and a good day was drugs. And that's where it started and ended for me in my active addiction. And now, I decide if I'm going to have a good day or a bad day. Justin decides that.
Mhm.
And that's such a freeing feeling. And that makes me, it motivates me to never want to use again, and obviously, things are going to happen. Life is going to show up, and, I still have emotions and things like that. And those are all things that, are going to challenge that mindset of never wanting to use again. And when they do, when that mindset gets challenged like that, I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this last night.
She's amazing, by the way.
Oh, good.
she's-
Teresa, if you're watching, I love you.
yeah, she's freaking awesome.
Good
And
for
she's
you.
so supportive of my recovery and everything that I'm doing here.
Good.
And Lemon Drop.
And Lemon Drop.
Of course.
We
How
love
can-
you, Lemon
How can
Drop.
you not?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think about, when like I said, when that mindset gets challenged, I think about the consequences of what happens if I do, decide that I want to go get high, literally in the matter of a couple of days, maybe even a couple of hours, I lose everything.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely everything.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I may or may not have set myself up like that on purpose. But I did that on purpose,
Mhm.
I put myself in a situation where the downside of me using far outweighs any sort of upside,
Mhm.
it's absolutely imperative, not just because I have a desire to stay clean, but it's absolutely imperative that I stay clean.
Right.
It's a necessity,
Mhm.
period.
Period. Abstinence.
And complete abstinence.
Yep.
If I give myself permission to even take a sip of a beer,
You're
or
off to the
I'm
races.
done.
You're
I'm done.
done.
That's
Yep.
it. It's game over. Because once I give myself permission for that little tiny bit,
Yep.
I give myself permission for anything and
Floor
everything
caves
else.
in.
Yep. But that's what recovery means
Hmm.
to me.
I like that answer.
Not allowing the floor to cave in.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Pretty much.
I like it.
I like that. That's good.
I love my life right now.
Hell yeah.
It's
Yeah.
Hell
it's,
yeah.
it's complete chaos, and
And you can handle
I'm-
it,
I'm
but you
ha-
can handle
I'm
it.
hanging on, as tightly as I can, and it's a crazy ride right now.
Mhm.
But I can deal with it. I can
Right,
handle it.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
I have an important follow up
Which is a
question.
gift.
Yeah, it is a gift.
It's a
Absolutely.
it's a miracle, really.
But I do have an important follow up question for this. At home, do you have wall to wall carpeting?
I do.
Oof.
It obviously, except in the kitchen. They were
Oof.
supposed to. It's actually an old.
Well, and the bathroom, I would
apartment.
assume. Please, no. in the
Oh no,
bathroom.
we have a
Okay.
carpeted bathroom.
Oh,
Oh, wow. I've
I'm
never
kidding,
even
I'm
seen that.
kidding.
oh my God, I just saw one in
That's-
Vegas.
I've never even seen that before.
We have shag carpet in the bathroom.
So the dog lives in the bedroom, in the kitchen. Look, in the kitchen.
No.
Yeah, okay.
She
Keeps
but
him on his toes.
luckily-
You went back to lemon drop. I love
Oh,
this.
yeah. Oh, I'm full
luckily,
circle, baby.
she has confined her situation to a particular hallway.
Oh gosh.
And we're
Do not
doing-
go gently into that good night.
yeah, we do everything we can to try to prevent her from doing her business inside. But it's like I said, it's tough sometimes, man, because like she doesn't, if she's got to go, she's got to go. I mean, she'll hold it for as long as she can, but
Yeah.
I mean, shoot.
Well, changing the
you know.
subject from lemon drops.
Nice.
Over here,
Sure.
and I would say the same question, but I do want to ask. There's a comment up here, so I wanted to see
got?
what do we got over here. Honesty's watching this show. First of all, Cambria says Happy International Recovery Day. Thank you, Cambria. And Honesty says recovery means to me love, acceptance, family, love, happiness, growth, living, love, and more.
I like that inner
Love.
honesty. I like it.
I love it too. And so I'm going to circle back. Honesty. Did you know this?
What?
Honesty is a rock star.
Okay.
And not just a recovery rock star. She is going to be sharing the stage with Macklemore tonight.
Holy shit! Which venue?
Yeah, right. No. It's at the Vegas venue where I just was, where I saw him perform live on Monday.
Okay.
Well,
she better leave now. I mean,
I know, right? She's got to go back in time, dress up, and
Wait, honesty from here, right?
Honesty Liller is
Okay.
sharing a stage with Matthew Connor and with what's his name over there, Walter Randall.
Okay.
Testify Tuesday.
Okay.
The three of them are sharing the stage with Macklemore tonight. It's already been broadcast. I mean, it's already been recorded. Their little Recover Out Loud clip videos are put together in this montage. And in the middle of the concert, they stop, they present this montage, and then there's Honesty saying, I recover out loud because I do whatever she says, and I'll let her share that. So
Okay.
I
Cool.
think that's really badass.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, and
gonna
so if you
say.
want to watch that tonight, this is where I'm going to you. Tonight at 8:30, it's actually being broadcast live. Well, not live, obviously. It's being rebroadcast at 8:30 tonight through iHeartRadio at Recovery Out Loud 2020-21. 2021.
2021.
Could you do me a favor? Could you read that for me? Since clearly I can't talk.
Where are we looking? Oh, at the very bottom.
Recover Out Loud.
recoveroutloud2021.org /, but you don't need that.
You don't need that. It's linked there in the bottom there, scrolling past you. But
Yep.
check it out tonight, 8:30 Eastern Time. Recover Out Loud 2021. It's going to be a freaking blast. There's a whole bunch of people in that concert. And I'll tell you what, I was talking about this yesterday. Macklemore, man, I didn't know he was in recovery until last year. I was driving around the country and somebody mentioned he was going to be at this conference, the same conference I was in this year. Last year he spoke. He didn't sing. But he spoke, and as I'm looking at all the people who are going to speak, I'm like, Macklemore,
Mhm.
okay, thrift store, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Oh, he's in recovery. Oh, how cool. And I'm like, all right, let me listen to his music. And of course, there's a lot of music that speaks to the addiction, epidemic,
Right.
which I didn't know.
Just to jump in, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but how much respect does that make you gain for somebody when you realize, like, you're in recovery. Like,
Right.
shit is not easy.
No.
Man. This shit is not easy. It is I mean, you've got to be kind of a beast to be able to do this.
Well,
And,
to put it out there.
Yeah.
To
Make
just
it
to
public.
say,
yeah.
and then come, and he didn't just come and perform, man. He he engaged with us. He
Mhm.
spoke about his struggles. He spoke about it, and he spoke about it in the language that I understand.
Right.
Like it wasn't a, I realize as I'm about to say this, looking at you, I realize you went through this experience, so forgive me. But it wasn't the language of, hey, I went to this fancy rehab place and that's where I got recovery. It was, no, I got my well. Yeah, there's a place for it. I'm not. This isn't.
I'm sorry, I was laughing at Honesty's comment. My bad.
Right.
Nice.
I will get. Yeah. So he spoke in the language of 12-step meetings that I get very clearly. He clearly there was a connection with the 12-step meetings he attends that I also attend, and I got what he was saying. It wasn't like I went to Malibu and I had my salmon.
Right. But
scallops.
I'm sure he went to somewhere kind of like
He
that.
probably
He
did.
definitely
He
probably
probably
did.
yeah.
But I mean, hey, a 12-step meeting, no matter where you're at, it's the same principles.
Absolutely.
It's the same. It's the same message at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, well, anyway, Honesty's getting ready to get into her DeLorean and go back with Marty. But the concert's tonight, 8:30. Check it out. There's a whole bunch of other phenomenal acts. This one performer, Edie McVie, I believe is her name. Oh man, I didn't bring it up, did I? But she does. What is that song? The old Tina Turner song.
I'm not gonna have this.
Big wheel keep on turning. Proud Mary, keep on burning, rolling.
Rolling.
Oh my gosh, she was
Mhm.
amazing, and then she just brought the energy. It was like, boom, 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 boom. Check out this concert; it's a lot of fun. So, look, what is recovery? Well, I'll ask you this.
I'll
But
answer the question. What is
No,
recovery?
no, we'll get-
what is
we'll
recovery?
we'll get to that next. We'll get to that next. I got another question for you first.
What do you got?
So, what Proud Mary? There we go. Honesty.
Wait,
is-
what'd you say?
She says, "Proud Mary, keep on burning,
Oh,
rolling,
Nice.
rolling."
Nice.
I think that was Tina Turner, wasn't it?
I don't have that.
I know the song you're talking about, but I have no.
No.
idea.
Honesty, drop it in there. I'm
I
not
was
gonna look
about
it
to
up.
say,
Yeah.
Honesty's
I mean,
probably
I
gonna
got
tell us in a
I
second.
got Google right here, but so look.
Yeah.
I know you're leaving, right?
Right.
I know you're going.
Mm.
What are the things other than making money and going to the gym?
Yeah.
Well, because we've talked about this, but
Yeah.
like, what are the things that you're that are interesting to you? What are you gonna connect back with?
All right. So like interesting
Hobbies,
hobbies,
sports.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
to skateboard. I like the gym.
Oh, skateboarding. Yeah. Okay.
I've been skating since I was about 8.
Do you do it still?
I'd still do it.
Hey, it's my sister.
Yes, Tina. It was Tina, by the way.
No, that's actually really my sister. Robin Scott is my sister.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
There she is. Hell yeah.
Hey, Robin.
Robin's
Um,
awesome.
I mean, I'm going to school. I love learning. I like staying open-minded with pretty much anything. I think they're doing like a mechanic program, or Rob's doing something with a mechanic program where like a church or a ministry helps people learn how to do their own oil changes on their cars and stuff like that. I'd be kind of interested in that. I'd like to sort of learn how to do at least a little bit of mechanic work because I don't really have too much in that. But right now I keep my plate pretty full with school, work, and my dog, and staying active.
I'm a dog.
That's pretty much it.
You and Charlie.
Oh yeah,
Charles in charge.
it's my girl.
What are you in school for?
Business.
Business.
hmm
What do you want to do with that?
I'd like to get into management. I've been in sales since I was about 20, but sales is pretty cutthroat. It's hard. I'd eventually rather do management than actually have to work on a commission.
What do you want to manage?
I haven't gotten there
Mm.
yet, but it'd be
Business.
something. It'd be something in sales. Yeah, I'd rather be like a business manager than an actual rep. Eventually, that'd
Okay.
be my goal.
Okay. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So what does recovery mean to you?
What does recovery mean to me? So Justin, sort of just to piggyback off what you were saying, as addicts, we're always looking for that external chase.
Stimuli.
Yeah, or like we're always chasing something, whether it be the fucking
Yeah.
girl, the girl,
Ooh.
the drugs, the drinking, whether you're chasing like a good physique or, whatever it is.
Wait, what was that? What was this?
No, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, a lot of people in recovery,
A good physique.
a good physique. A lot of people like either, they're getting a ton of tattoos, or I mean, somebody even brought it up in the groups, everyone's like, we all have external like fixation.
Have you seen everyone who comes in with their shoes matching their lids and
Yeah.
I crack because I was that guy when I was
Oh,
using.
see, I don't do that. White shoes and then it goes with everything because no.
When I was
But-
using, I was lucky to have a shirt on. Honestly,
but no, recovery, like I think it's getting your mind off those external things that you chase and recover on the inside.
Ooh.
That's what I think.
Oh.
Like
Ooh.
you're healing the inside of you. You're recovering internally.
Yeah. And Honesty's watching it, but one of the things I love about Honesty, what she brings to the table, is introducing me to maybe not necessarily other pathways, but parts that can fill the gaps in my recovery that touch on the spiritual side of me.
Mhm.
Get into the meditation because I struggle with a lot of anger, and
Join the club.
yeah, and that's certainly nothing unusual for our crowd, and I also struggle with an oversized ego as well, and so that has served me in the past. When you say functioning addict for a long time, I really relate to that as
Right.
well.
Right.
Because I didn't have consequences for my using I didn't have the dire consequences. There were certainly consequences, but there weren't there weren't legal consequences. I wasn't going to jail. I could always figure a way to manipulate through my family.
Oh,
To
yeah.
connect. But at the end of it, like I went to jail in February. The last time I went to jail, and when my mom came to visit me, I think it was either the very very end of February or the beginning of March. I hadn't seen her at Christmas, so she had literally went and took my presents back
Damn.
and got the money and put that on my books. That was
Mm.
my Christmas present.
Mm.
And
Smart woman though.
it was a smart woman, but it was a really really
Yeah,
sad
you felt
moment.
terrible.
I felt
You
terrible.
felt terrible.
And
Because that is
yeah.
messed up.
It is messed up.
That's
And
messed up.
but I take that experience because I didn't take that money and go do the things. I always tell this story and I tell it more succinctly, but the first time I heard the word McShin,
Mm.
it was February. I'd just been extradited from from DC to Virginia, which is a very scary word. Oh, I'm extradited.
Right.
And
I think of like the prison bus.
yeah. And it was it was two guys or two marshals or whatever, deputy sheriffs or whoever they were, and came and got me and brought me back. And it was cold, it's February. And where I went to jail, they didn't give you socks and stuff. You got a pair of shower shoes and you could buy white socks if you wanted to. If you were lucky enough to go to jail with white socks, you could keep your white socks. But
Right.
of course, I had colorful socks on.
I could see that.
Yeah, I'm not a white
You're a
sock.
colorful
yeah.
guy.
Well, and I had been partying for a long time. I was wearing very tight jeans and a pair of underwear that said "Dirty Pig" and a
Oh
tight tee.
shit.
Oh well, this comes into play 2
Oh,
months.
shit.
This comes into play 2 months later when I'm leaving jail and I no longer weigh the same amount. Oh my God, was that miserable? But that's another story. I go to jail and I'm not wearing socks, and I hear this word McShin, and I'm like, what the heck is that? What part of Ireland are these people from, or Scotland or whatever? And I take that money that my mom gave me, and instead of buying $3 or $4 for a pair of socks, I spend it on coffee and sweets and all the instant gratification stuff that
Damn.
I know, right?
Damn.
And when I kept hearing McShin, I kept seeing these people who were smiling, and I thought, well, what are they doing that I'm not doing? Because right now, everything I'm doing sucks.
Right.
And I'm in a general pub, group. I'm not from the area where I was serving time, but I did bump into somebody I knew. And he, at that point, made it a point of telling everybody my whole life story.
Mm.
So, it's not always so much fun to be gay in jail. So having that information out there wasn't exactly fun for me.
No. Doesn't sound it.
Yeah. And so anyway, I was like, I'll give it an opportunity to go over to this McShin pod, and they seemed happier. And I thought, well, let me go over there. I'd connected with an individual, who just seemed to speak. He could use words like, big fancy words that I like to use. And I thought, all right, well, if he understands these big fancy words, maybe I can connect with them. I mean,
that makes sense.
But these were the things. Like I needed something. That was that was the thing. I walk into this, so I get transferred to this pod. And I walk in there, and this dude who looks nothing like me, probably 15 years younger than I am, tall, black, everything that could be different about him, he was, and he just looks at me and he's like, man, your feet look cold. And I'm like in my head thinking, oh, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, leave me the frick alone. I don't want to deal with this shit. You know, come on, man. I don't have anything for you. You know, this is my whole thinking right here. And he's like, no. He must have read my mind. He's like, no, I got you. And he reached in his, in his cell, and he brought out a pair of socks and he handed them to me. And I swear, man, that was for me, like, that was the moment, that was the first connection to back to hope. I'd gotten so deep in despair at that point.
People are good.
That I deserved something more than I was giving myself,
Right.
and he never really thought of that anything other than that was the right thing to do, and it was the first non-transactional, relationship type of thing, where he gave me something not expecting anything else that I'd had in a long, long time.
Right.
And, from that, that little tiny drop of hope, I guess, the people coming into the jail who had literally been in the same spot that I'd been in, sharing that story, bringing me that hope and connecting. And, I'd love to say that I did everything perfectly since then, but clearly, I mean, that's not the case. But what I learned from that is, when I do screw up, I can still get back up, and I still can have support and love from the people around me that I build into my community. So recovery for me is about community, about building a community, trusting, loving community where I can make mistakes, grow from them, move forward, and hopefully be available for the next sick and suffering person.
Exactly. Stay in position.
Yeah, stay in position. So, look, we about to land this plane here, but before we land the plane here on this International Recovery Day, is there anything you want to add? Say,
No, grateful to be here.
Shout out to Charlie.
Shout out to Charlie. Grateful to be here. That was a fun podcast. That was my first one I've ever done, so that was pretty cool.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Nice.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming on, Justin. You want to add anything before we go out? Shout out to Lemon Drop.
I always shout out to Lemon Drop. I do it in my head though.
Well, all right, fair enough.
No, I meant to actually shout out yesterday to the people that are not themselves suffering from this disease, but that love someone that is suffering from this disease and is willing to stick by them and to stay close to them and go through the shit with them. Because that's not an easy thing, man.
That's love right there.
If you don't understand what an addict is going through when they're trying to get clean and when they're staying clean, you can't relate. You just can't relate, and to be able to know that you can't feel what they're feeling and you can't necessarily relate to them on a, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but just to be able to understand that, yeah, they're going through something and, they're working on themselves and I love you. So I'm going to stay there with you. That's, man, like husbands, wives, parents, siblings, anybody that's supportive of someone that suffers from substance use disorder, man, y'all are awesome.
Right.
Right. There's no other way to put it.
Heroes.
That's it.
Heroes.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Yeah.
As we close out today and we close out Recovery Month, because this is the end of Recovery Month, and as you all know, recovery is for everyone, every family, every person, every family, every community. And so, Justin, I love that you just kind of touched on that. Right as you were saying that. I have to say that McShin gave me a purpose. McShin helped me. No, that's not even fair to say. McShin helped me discover my purpose. And I think there's a lot of places out there that do great work similar to us. And, my heart's going to be here at McShin because this is where I found the beginning of my recovery. There are a lot of people out there. I know this, I know our biggest audiences are people, experiencing incarceration. And I know what that feels like. And whether we've been in jail or not, that feeling of just despair, that feeling of I don't know what to do, I don't know how to make that next move. I mean, it sounds very common. I hear that a lot from the people in recovery, and it sounds like a real common theme. I didn't know what to do, I didn't know how to ask for help. And so, look, if you're looking for some help, you're looking for something different, check out the line, the phone number, the email, or the website hitting out there below. Check it out. This doesn't have to be that there doesn't have to be that misery, that pain. We can do something different. And I guess I'm being a little maudlin at the end here because I have friends out there, who, just recently, decided to go back and do more research, and it's always a scary thing. It's a little sad, but at the same time, I know that, I can stay connected with people, even in using active use and not use myself. That's a good thing too. Build a community, build it all back, and grab people, bring them back in. And I think I'm kind of rambling at this point.
Same day.
Same day. Yeah, same day. Don't have to wait till Monday.
You don't. Nope. We're not going to send you away. We're going to get you
It's
somewhere.
Thursday. You don't have to wait till Monday.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that to anybody in particular. Not at all. Hey, but listen, I love y'all. We've had a great freaking month. Recovery Month's been amazing. We started off with a blast. We started off. What did we do on the first? We had Aaron and Victor. We did. Look, man, we're gonna recap this tomorrow. Tuesday. All right, look. Clearly, it's the end of the week. Clearly, it's the end of the month. I love y'all. Goodbye.
Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in giving people opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.